Hello. Oh no. You haven't seen it yet. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That was very unexpected. You're all very welcome, and I do want to thank you all for coming. Very seldom do people have to go through such extensive security to get into an academic conference. And it's a reflection of the world we're living in and this extraordinary topic that we didn't choose, but it chose us. And many people's lives here have been devastated by this subject. And so I really appreciate you for coming. And I'm very aware, we're all very aware of Charlie Kirk's murder, assassination, and that he was speaking about trans issues. And most of us here have been subject for, when we study it, for the last 10 years being told nothing to see here, nothing to see here, no big deal, you're overstating it, it's not a problem. I remember Graham Linehan said it recently. He said, it's like rubbernecking at a car crash, but it's rubbernecking the wrong way. Because people are just so determined not to look at this issue and not to study what's going on. And so I'm specifically, from Genspect, incredibly appreciative of you who've turned up. You who've kind of, made it, because it's a hassle. We all know these days it's a hassle to get here, and it's a little bit nerve-wracking to get here. So I really appreciate it. I want to thank our sponsors as well. They have, the people who have kind of supported Genspect so we could put this on, and it has taken a lot of effort. It's made such a difference. And they know, some of the donors and the funders, they know who they are, and they don't want to be named because, again, this is a subject that has devastated many lives. But thankfully, we're now in a kind of trans glasnost that, we're starting to come out, and it's because of work of the organizations that are here today. It's because of the work of organizations that have decided to stand up and speak the truth unapologetically and unequivocally. Our sponsor is the Global Health Population Summit. They were very kind to us. Do No Harm, absolutely brilliant organisation. If you don't know them, check them out because they're brilliant. The Santa Fe Boys Foundation, and Paul is here somewhere, so thank you very much to Paul. And OTI, the Open Therapy Institute. Again, if you don't know Open Therapy Institute and you're looking for therapists that are unbiased, that have an open, obviously, attitude, and XXXY Athletics have got their very, very cool, they're brilliant. Later on today, we'll be all kind of sick of words, but anyway, at the end of the day, at about 6 o'clock, just after 6 o'clock, we'll be launching the gender framework. It's been years in the making. And we've got some of the contributors. This is a book that the concept of it is that we're trying to offer an unapologetic, non-medicalized approach to gender dysphoria that is usable in schools, in sports clubs, by lawyers, by prison staff, by youth club members, by anybody who's indirectly or directly touched by this. And we explain why you have to prioritize sex over gender identity and why a non-medicalized approach to gender dysphoria is a completely compassionate and appropriate response. So we'd really appreciate if you could buy one today, later on at the book launch, and consider buying two. Because when you're at home, and Jenny Poyer-Ackerman will be giving a talk later on talking about how, why we need to talk about trans even in polite company. When you're at home later on and you speak to somebody and you realize they don't get it, they're the disengaged, they're waving me away and they don't get it, you can say, oh, I have a book I can give you. And you can race upstairs and get your second copy. So we would appreciate if you supported it. We do have a kind of a policy here that we recognise that some people are here and they don't want to be made public. And so quite appropriately, usually it's the parents who don't want to be seen because maybe their children have been devastated and they're very vulnerable. And so they mightn't want to be seen. And so appropriately they're in the far left. The far left is over there. Joke. But anyway. So, it is kind of the onus is on anybody who doesn't want to be photographed not to be photographed. It's kind of your job to stay out of the cameras. It's, you know what I mean? But we have a provision over there. That's the space where the cameras are not going to be. And we'd appreciate if cameras didn't go there for that reason. We've got a survey. It's getting sent to your inbox this morning. We'll mention it later on, and we'd really appreciate if you could fill it in, because it'll be a survey to all the attendees. And we really want to just get, the general, what would I say, the political affiliations, the religious affiliations, the kind of attitudes and views of people who are here, because so many people write us off as far-right bigots. And it's kind of interesting to get actual data on that. So I think it's very, very important that we fill this in if at all possible. So I think I don't want to talk too longer, because we've got some brilliant speakers today. We've got Dr. Lisa Lippman in a moment. We have Dr. Stephen Levine. We've got all sorts of absolute brilliant speakers, and I really appreciate if you have any questions, put your hand up, make sure that you make your voice known. I think that what we need to do more than anything, is that acknowledge that we are a movement and we are a community. There's a huge number of organisations here. I'll just, off the top of my head, Do No Harm, OTI, Therapy First, LGBT Courage, Parents of RGD, DIAG, Parents of Boys are here, Themis, Our Duty, Pit Parents, Parents of Resistors, Gender Dysphoria Institute, XXXY Athletics, Gender Critical Lawyers. There's many more. I met a lady today, and she's running a clinic in Idaho. And Idaho has this new bill in, because new bills are coming in all the time, about how therapists in Idaho are legislated. They're allowed to give therapy according to their own values, so they don't have to kind of affirm something that it goes against their values. And things like, so it's Gender Harmony is the name of the clinic, and she's here somewhere. So there's lots of little initiatives. We're in a very different place than we were when we first started these meetings. And we started these meetings because we knew that WPATH was causing great harm. And it is. It's fast-tracking people into a medicalised false promise, and it is devastating lives, and has been for many years. And frankly, it was a lunatic fringe for a long, long time, I believe. And it came into focus mostly, I would argue, because parents, suddenly an awful lot of children were identifying as trans, and parents said, what is this? What are the long-term implications? What are the consequences of medical transition? I'm sure it's fine, but could I just see the evidence? And parent after parent after parent realised, oh my God, the evidence is disgraceful. It's shoddy. It's circular reasoning. It's shoddy academia. And then, like all of us, you start pulling the thread, and we end up in this room. So, I think it's really important that we realise that we are coming together, we're moving forward, we're finding our voice, we're kind of speaking unapologetically, hopefully, and unequivocally. And, for example, ML and Lauren Schwartz, and Lauren will be speaking later, had a paper published just this week, about how WPATH, according to their own figures, they're over-medicalising, according to their own data, and that just got published this week. Everything is happening. We're in a very exciting time. It is a very distressing time, it's a very stressful time, but it's also very exciting. So, I would like to welcome, I believe, the greatest hero of the movement. I believe that Lisa Lippman's work has been the game changer. When Lisa Lippman decided to study those 256 parents and release that paper in 2018 and saying, hang on, there's something going on here, and I'm going to call it rapid onset gender dysphoria. She changed the world. She really did. For all these parents who are so devastated, we finally had some evidence, and it was quality. And I am over the moon thrilled that she's here to open the conference. Thank you.